Hey, Josh, can you talk about growing up and your World Series dreams then, and how you're looking forward to them becoming reality?
I mean, yeah, growing up in Texas, this is pretty cool, pretty special. That ALCS was pretty cool too. I mean, it's always been a dream of mine to play in the World Series, to potentially win a World Series. To be doing it my rookie year, to have a chance to do it is pretty crazy. The dynamic of the team from last year to this year, just crazy. Don't really know how to put it all into words. Still kind of surreal. Still have those like, hey, pinch me kind of things. But we're here and we're ready to do it.
So when this team was losing 102 games a couple years ago, you were getting your foot healthy and all this stuff, but were you thinking, man, I'm with a team that lost 102 games?
I wasn't really thinking that, but it was more of like the vision that the front office and CY and the staff has had. They kept pressing it. They kept talking about it. Hey, we're going to win a World Series. We're going to win a World Series. And to be doing that this fast is crazy. But you just see how the ownership's commitment to winning, CY's commitment to winning, bringing in the staff they do. Staff's really good. Then the caliber of players they've brought in as well. I mean, our clubhouse is rocking. We just got a bunch of good guys in there. The talent speaks for itself, but the type and quality of guys that we have in the locker room, I think, is really what has kept us together and going, especially with the ups and downs all year.
You mentioned basically the mantra, we're going to win a World Series, and that's been repeated. It's been a part of basically every little piece of the plan. As a guy who takes seriously the mental side of the game, how much of that do you think is sort of instrumental in the fact that you guys have gotten this far?
I mean, CY saying it for, almost 2 years now. It just sticks in the back of your head. Good times, bad times. Just the positive reinforcement, I think, helps everybody tremendously. And even, we had those rough stretches there toward the end of the season. He's still saying he believes in us, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's instrumental. It's huge for the club. It's huge for the guys. Just that positive reinforcement, I think, especially from your GM. There's nothing better than that, because ultimately that's the guy that brings you onto this club. And when he's that positive, especially in the dark days, I mean, it means everything.
Is it coincidence that you guys are whatever you are on the road in this postseason, coming off of that last road trip? Or did something during that last road trip, maybe the last game or the last 2 days, have some impact on why you guys have played so well on the road in the playoffs?
I wish I had an answer for you, truly. I mean, that last road trip sucked. Going into Seattle needing, we had our own destiny was in our own hands. And it was tough. It was rough for us, especially losing the division the last day of the season when we lost to Seattle 1-0. That was tough. Then basically fly legitimately across the country to play Tampa. I mean, I don't know what switched or what turned on, but it was just this mentality that we were kind of playing hero ball in Seattle. Everybody thought that each at-bat was going to probably, I guess, say it, we put too much emphasis on each at-bat, trying to play hero ball, and that's where you've seen in this postseason, it's just pass the baton to the next guy. Have the best at-bat you can, the next guy's going to do it. We're not worried about being the hero when we step in the box. We just want to have the best at-bat we can, stick to the game plan, and just kind of go from there.
Cody, and then had you ever seen Corey Seager show as much emotion as he did after his homer?
It comes out in big games like that. I think that really pumped all of us up because he doesn't show a bunch of emotion. And to see our guy do that in that moment, I think everybody was like, oh, yeah, we're going to do this thing.
What else have you learned or appreciated about being his teammate this year?
I mean, he brings that even-keeledness that we all strive to have. I think he's the ultimate example of that. The clubhouse leader that he is, the leader on the field that he is. He doesn't have to say a whole lot, and you know he's got your back regardless. There's not enough words to describe the impact he's had on all of us individually, let alone the club. But I'm just really glad I get to stand on the same side of the infield with him.
Two for you here, Josh. One, Corey's won a World Series in this building, was the MVP. Have you talked to him about the process you go through and taking it in and being able to play in such a high-pressure situation?
Having a legit dialogue conversation about it, no, but I think it's the presence that he brings in those moments that kind of teaches all of us how to go through it, especially in that Game 7. I mean, if you walked in our locker room, you wouldn't have been able to tell that it was a Game 7, that it was the biggest game of the year, quote-unquote, at that moment. Everyone's playing cards. Everybody's having fun. Music's going. Everybody's going about their routine just as they had day one of the season. And I do think that comes from our veterans that have been through it, that their routine doesn't change, so why does ours, basically? So I think it's kind of just Corey doing his thing and all of us following.
And this last question for you, for the fans, what do you want them to bring Game 1?
All the energy. I mean, this is the first time we're playing in a World Series in this ballpark. It's the first time this club's been here since 11 in this spot. Just bring the noise. I mean, the fans can be an element in a game. And, you know, you take all the help you can get at this point.
Hey, I just want to go back to what I asked you a minute ago about the road. Could you guys be here in this situation without having done it the hard way? Without having gone through what you went through?
I mean, I'd want to say yes, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's where great stories are made is, you know, we could have won the division and been at home for those 5 days. And, you know, I mean, you see how it played out for the Dodgers, the Braves, all those teams. That 5 days off isn't always a good thing. But for us to go into Tampa, to kind of find that momentum, go play a really good Baltimore team, continue that momentum, and then ultimately got to play our rival, our in-state rival, to find that momentum again, especially after they dominated us here at home, especially with the way that Game 3 ended. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think that's led to all of this.
So this is the most baseball you've ever played in one season. That's not a shot at your injuries. How are you feeling at this point, and what's keeping you going?
I'd say I'm probably the freshest out of everyone on our club because I got that 6-week break there toward the end. So my body's feeling good. But I think at this point in the year, everybody's dealing with something. But, I mean, when those lights turn on, when you're 4 games away from winning a World Series, nobody's thinking about those things. It's just how can they go out there and get their job done.
Josh, you are from Texas. Did you watch the World Series 2010, 2011? Do you remember something?
Remember the heartbreak. But yeah, I mean, pretty much watch the World Series every year, and one club wins, one club loses. And then in 10 and 11, you know, those were pretty heartbreaking for Texas, and hopefully we can be on the other side of that this time.
Hey Josh, when you think back to August, getting hurt and being out while this team was really struggling, how hard was that? And then to be at this moment now, how can you put that into perspective?
Whirlwind of emotions. When the team was struggling, I was hurt. That really sucked because I wanted to try and contribute any way I could, but I really couldn't leave the training room. Just dealing with that, trying to get through that. To be where we are now, after all that, it's crazy. Truly, I mean, this season's been a roller coaster, probably for everyone. Even people that have covered us all year, I'm sure it's been crazy. But we're in this position. We're in a good spot. Just trying to go out there and win 4.
Hi, would you like to announce any starters for games 1 and/or 2?
I'll go with game one. Nate Evaldi will start game one.
Any particular reason? Did it have anything to do with Jordan?
I think you look at Monty's work, you know, it makes sense to give him the added rest. That's all. And Nate's had plenty of rest. He's ready to go.
Bruce, when you think of the Diamondbacks, what's the first thing that you think of?
Well, a really good balanced ball club, gritty club. They play the game right. They like action. You know, they run the bases well. That's been talked about. You know, they're a team that really has come on strong. The pitching, the starting pitching, bullpen. That's why they're here. And they had some beat. I mean, they beat some really good ball clubs to get here, and so you know, we saw them some. They I think took 3 out of 4, so we know we're playing a really good ball club.
These ballparks both have roofs, both have the same turf. Are there differences in the turf? Were you guys feeling comfortable there in September?
Yeah, I think they're very similar. I couldn't tell you the difference. I think you'll have to ask the players if they notice any difference. I know this one's been used probably a little bit more to where it might be a little harder. I don't know, though. So I haven't had any complaints on either turf.
But do you have enough tickets for family and friends, and who decides who gets them?
I missed the last part. I'm sorry.
Who decides who gets them?
The tickets? Boy, that's a great question. I tell you what. Yeah, it's that time of year. You know, you have to savor it, but it's a busy time because I have a lot of family coming in, a lot of requests. When Arizona won, I mean, my phone got flooded with requests because I have a lot of friends and family in San Diego and in Arizona. So you just have to draw a line at some point. I mean, they're not giving these tickets away, so you know it's a challenge for all these guys because you're trying to take care of everybody, your friends, family. But at some point, you do have to cut it off somewhere. You end up coaching for free.
You're also going to manage the All-Star game.
Yeah, I was told that by my wife. She goes, you know, I had plans, but I'm glad to break them. But yeah, she did bring that up.
What's different about managing in the postseason? Is it the sense of urgency? Like with a pitching change, you can't give a guy as long to work out of something. What have you found, not just this year, but in your previous 4 World Series?
Well, I think to your point, you might see a lot more changes, especially when you get to, you know, Game 7 or something like that, where all hands are on deck. When you're in a 7-game series, though, you can't overdo it there. You end up running out of pitching or burning those guys out. But it's a different game. There's no question about it. Every game is played a little different, to be honest. From one game, you may bump more, you know, looking at who you have. It's just, you know, it's up to you to find a way to win every ball game because, as I've said, that margin of error is not there that you have during the season. So just, if you want to call it sense of urgency, whatever. But, you know, I like to think that's in every game. You know, you hate to say that. Hey, we need to have that sense of urgency because I think you should have that every game. That's how you should play the game.
Coach, what are some of the little things that you need to impress upon your battery and maybe your infield when you play a team that can impact the game on the bases the way Arizona can?
Well, just focus. That's, you know, what you need to do. You know, that's part of the game. You know, you have to play good defense. You have to swing the bats, pitch, but, you know, also you have to watch a running game. That's a big part of the game. So it's just a matter of pitchers being focused out there, you know, mix it up, you know, the throwovers, things like that.
Anything with the rules this year, whether it's the pitch clock or the disengagements that you've picked up throughout the season that can help a team defensively in controlling the running game? Do's or don'ts?
Well, I think you have to be a little careful with the throwovers. Obviously, you get two. And after that, you better have a pretty good slide step or a great move to mitigate the running game. But that's even before the throwover. So, I know a lot's made out of it, but as a pitcher, if you're focused and you do your job, you're staying under 1.4 or 1.35, whatever you think that number should be. It's in that area, and mix in your different moves, so it helps mitigate that running game. But some teams are more equipped to run, and you know that. And so you just have to be aware of it. That's all.
Boach, we'll ask a lot of these players here in the middle. We'll ask a lot of these players about making their dreams come true on this stage. You obviously have rings in your back pocket. Can you talk about realizing some of your World Series dreams that you had when you were younger?
Right. I'll start with this. This is what you dream about. This is what you train for. It's what you sacrifice. It's what you play for. To have the ability to play on the biggest stage in baseball, and you have to savor it, be honored by it. It doesn't happen a lot. It's not easy to get here, so enjoy it. And so that's what I try to take away from it. Probably got better as I got a little older, because it's intense out there. But still, you just have to appreciate where you're at, and that's what I try to take in myself.
Boach, did you like Marcus looked more comfortable at the plate the last couple of games against Houston? Did you like what you were seeing with his adjustments and getting on base more at the end of the series?
Yeah, I agree. I think he was more comfortable up there. We all get out of sync. Good hitters. I've had some great hitters, and they have their times when they're just not seeing the ball as well, or they're not on time with the fastball, and in between that and the breaking ball. So I think you saw Marcus more who he is, at the end there in Houston.
Bruce, with Adolis' outstanding performance and being the MVP of the League Series, how can a guy try to keep that going? And then also some people have said, okay, it's not a New York or a LA team here. It's Arizona and Texas, and they're not as interested. Can you speak to that as well?
Yeah. With Dolly, just be yourself. We've seen Dolly. Sometimes he gets a little amped up and wants to be the guy and carry us. He's too good to have to do that. Just be out there and play your game. And you saw what happened when he can keep things under control. And he plays with a lot of emotion. That's what you love about him. But when he controls those emotions, he's as good as any player in the game, I think. That's how good he is. As far as Arizona, this team, it's been impressive what they've done, how good they played, the teams that they beat. But they play good baseball, heads-up baseball, smart baseball. Like I said, we've seen them, and they do a lot of things right. They got good young talent. They're athletic. Like I said, they'll push it. They'll push, running the bases and doing the little things that needs to be done to win a ball game. As far as, just to add to that, I don't, hey, two best teams are here right now, so that's how I look at it. I don't buy in. It has to be an East Coast team. That to me, that has nothing to do with it. You want the teams that are playing the best at this time, and the two best teams, and that's what we have right now.
The last time this team's window of contention opened, you had the duty to try and figure out how to beat them. This year, you've got the duty to try and figure out how to take them to the World Championship. How does this team compare to the 2010 Rangers?
Well, I didn't manage the 2010 Rangers.
I believe you managed against them. It was a fairly memorable series.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things I didn't know about the 2010 Rangers as far as inside. But think back at the 2010 Rangers, how talented they were. I mean, they had power, speed, pitching. It was a great matchup. And so I look at this club as a little similar, to be honest. I mean, you look around the horn, and I look at the 2010 Rangers. I think there's a lot of common themes there with the talent, the power, even some speed. When you get to this point, though, you're probably going to say that about a lot of teams, to be honest.
So just one last follow-up on that element. And I know you don't remember any of this stuff because you just move on to the future. But Game 1 of 2010, Rangers made 4 errors. They had 2 errors in right field by a guy who was a DH playing right field. This team has been one of the top 10 teams in the major leagues in defense. How big an impact does defense potentially have in the World Series at this point?
I think impact. A defense can impact a team as much as any facet of the game. Yeah, same with their club. They play great defense over there, and so I think you're seeing 2 teams that do a great job at catching the ball, and that's going to make a difference. I think the defense, that's what we talked about going in spring training. I've said one thing that has to be a constant is that defense, the fundamentals, and that's what I've been proud of, because you've seen the hitting come and go at times. You've seen the pitching do the same. But as long as you show up there and you do the things fundamentally right, then you're giving yourself the best chance to win a game.
Bosch, over the years, as the postseason keeps getting longer with more rounds, has it caused you to change your approach to how you prepare a team from spring training through the regular season?
I'll be honest, no, I can't say that. It is a longer postseason now. You're the 2 out of 3 to start it. It used to be that 1 game wild card. You're talking about a little pressure. That's a lot of pressure there. But now I can't say you do anything to prepare for a longer postseason. You get at this part of the season, the postseason I'm talking about. The guys are running on adrenaline. Trust me. There's some guys beat up. That's normal this time of year. Marcus hasn't missed a game. Lowe's missed 1 game. So trust me, there's some guys nicked up out there. But it's just such an exciting time that they don't even think about it. Players don't think about it, and it's just excitement of being here.
We're gonna do 2 more. Then we'll both get to
So, Boach, hey, so you've got 3 World Series rings. Do you ever wear them? Where are they?
I don't. I don't know if I should say where they are. They're coming out. No. I have them at my house, and occasionally, if it's something related to baseball function, I may wear them, but I don't. They're a little bulky and end up beating them up. But I have them around though, near me at the house.
All right, so maybe you don't know. You have a really good postseason record, a lot of success. How much of a role do you have in that, do you think? Or is it all players, all your assistants, or does Bruce Bochy do something to lead to that success?
I'll be honest. That's you see numbers and things, but it's up to the players. That's never going to stop in this game. What these guys are doing, they're doing on their own. But I will talk about this coaching staff. What a great job they do working to have them prepared. The relentless effort that they put in, hours they put in. I'm talking about Mike Maddox and Brett Hayes on the pitching side. On the hitting side, Donnie Eckert, Tim Hires. They just do a great job. But so, once the game starts, I have to make decisions. But it doesn't happen without the players and those guys going out there doing their job.